Hey everybody, Sam here, also known as Mr. Stainless, and we're back playing some more State of Decay 2. And today, what I wanted to do was to show you guys, kind of unedited, raw and wriggling, as Smeagol would say, my first time playing Daybreak. So I am playing this on my own, solo, with just some AI friends. I did try to find some other people to play with before I jumped into Daybreak, just so that I wouldn't look as crappy at the game as I'm about to, but unfortunately no one was willing or able to join me to make me look less crap. So that is why. That's what I'll say is the reason why I do as well as I do. And you can choose to believe that or not. It's up to you. But if this is the first time you've come across my channel, you're very, very welcome. My name is Sam, also known as Mr. Stainless, and I upload at least 2 State of Decay 2 videos every week to keep you prepared for the coming apocalypse. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, feel free to hit the subscribe button down below. Well, I guess we'll just jump into it. As I said, I am playing this solo with the AI. This is the first time I've played it. I've not touched Daybreak before, so you're going to see kind of my first experience and how far I get. I think the stage I get to will probably be pretty standard for most people playing on their own or on their first try. So I think I'm probably doing just about average. So for my opening loadout here, I decided to just go with, I call it the Scar, I think it's the Stormbringer, and just load up on ammo. I didn't really think I would need anything else. That and you don't really have much else, you kind of just got those 3 fire bombs. You don't have any mines or anything like that as you start out the game. One thing I will say, which I thought was pretty cool, was the opening loadout. So you might have noticed whenever I was choosing my opening loadout that you don't just have tons and tons of weapons to choose from. So whenever we saw the kind of gameplay reveal for Daybreak at Gamescom, when we've seen the devs playing Daybreak, you know, they've had like a massive selection of weapons and melee and throwables to equip for their opening loadout. If you go into Daybreak and you'll see like a little collection tab, basically that'll show you all of the weapons that you've unlocked, all of the blueprints that you've downloaded through Clio. And in order to actually be able to equip them for your opening loadout, you've got to download them through the Clio satellite terminal, which I think is quite cool. There is a lot of weapons that it seems that you can download, and I think it's cool in that will add like longevity to the mode and give you a reason to keep coming back and play, to try and unlock more of those things. So I decided that I was going to try and just start off outside the walls. For some reason, I kind of just, I wanted to see how efficient it was to try and stop the zombies before they got to the actual barricades and started doing damage to them. And it works relatively well. I think for the opening opening waves, I think that makes sense. I jumped back here just because of the feral, because I hate ferals and I'm terrified of them. So I just jumped back in for that, and then ran away back outside again once the terror of my nightmares had been destroyed. But yeah, so it made more sense to try and stop the zombies before they got to the barricades for these opening waves, because these opening waves are going to be the easiest. So go out, try and prioritize using melee, and save your ammo for later on, whenever it will become more important, and equally probably be more scarce as well. Equally using single fire mode, I try not to use burst or full auto mode ever. In most games that I play, actually, I'll always try and use single fire mode just for extra precision. I don't like wasting ammo, but that was the first wave done, which was relatively easy enough. It's just a case now of kind of checking up on everything, getting more ammo if we need it, which I don't think we did. Sneaky achievements there as well, and then just waiting for the next wave to arrive, really. So that's what the technician was talking about there. Whenever she boots up the Clio link, it will be able to download blueprints, which will give you more weapons. And I actually do manage to download the I'll call it a Warhammer, but the Clio like Warhammer basically. is the first blueprint that you'll end up unlocking. One thing I am looking forward to is actually integrating this with the single player mode of State of Decay 2. I think a lot of you have been wanting to do the same as well, are looking forward to integrating these Red Talon members into your community. I think they're probably going to be super OP, but I'm kind of okay with that. I think having Red Talon or network members, kind of more militaristic community members, is something that a lot of us have been yearning for, and it's cool to finally see that kind of being integrated into the game. And equally looking forward to seeing the new facility mods, new facility buildings that these guys will integrate into our communities as well. So I think there's a lot of you guys have been letting me know your thoughts on the Daybreak DLC in the reveal video that I did maybe like a couple of weeks ago. Most of you've all been very, very vocal, so thank you for that. Thank you for most of you keeping the comments there constructive, and the debate and conversation constructive there as well. I've appreciated that, and that it hasn't just fallen into people cursing and slagging each other off. But I think most of you have kind of been incredibly apprehensive and or have negative feelings about the Daybreak DLC. I for one totally understand that. I think it's not necessarily what a lot of people were asking for, but at the same time, I think the devs at Undead Labs have a slightly longer roadmap for State of Decay 2 than most of us may envision, and I'd like to hope that this is just one of a number of DLCs or additions that will come to the game over time. So I think it's just a case of patience, really. But I think for me, I think when they first, I think I've mentioned this in the last video as well, I think when they first announced Daybreak, I wasn't really too impressed at that at all. Mainly because I just don't like horde modes. Oh crap. There's the Pharaoh. I'm not a fan of horde modes at all, really. For me, I kind of stopped playing Call of Duty way back whenever they introduced the zombies game mode. For me, that was just like, this isn't what Call of Duty is to me. This isn't what I think Call of Duty should be. I'm done. And it's, don't get me wrong, it's proved incredibly popular for Call of Duty and games of that ilk. But for me, it just wasn't what I played those games for. And in the same way, I didn't play State of Decay for horde modes. Do you know what I mean? I should also mention that like a lot of people in the comments have just been saying, oh, they should just do Breakdown 2.0. I've never played Breakdown. I'm going to level with you guys. I played the DLCs for State of Decay 1 that I've played are Lifeline, because it was a piece of story DLC. Breakdown for me seemed like it was just going to be too repetitive. So the way I saw it was like, look, I'm a lover of story. Like I absolutely adore stories in games, and I love things that add to the story and add to the lore of that universe as well. So Lifeline for me was like, oh hey, it's got a new map, it's got an addition to the story. I really want to know more about this universe. Whereas Breakdown didn't have that for me at the time. So basically, I went off on a tangent there to bring it back to what we were talking about. Daybreak, I wasn't too impressed or excited about it whenever it was announced, but I understand that it has a benefit as well. I think this Daybreak can be something that will bring players to State of Decay 2 who are more accustomed to playing game modes like that in Call of Duty, and folks who maybe haven't tried State of Decay 2 before because they thought it was a hardcore survival title may be drawn into the game because of something like this. And I think that's a good thing. I think more people playing State of Decay is a good thing, because it's expanding us as a community, and it's enabling the devs to do more with it too. I think that's something that should be celebrated and should be encouraged. But let's get back to tactics. So we just finished wave 2. I basically went round and repaired most, if not all, of the walls that needed repairing. I'm deciding to stick with my Stormbringer. Oops. I did that a lot, where I pressed the buttons to reload and ended up doing a different attack. That is one thing that I think we missed earlier on. I was too busy yapping on, but I have noticed a couple of input miscommunications. Oh gosh, look at all that. blood plague in there. I never noticed that before, but I have noticed a couple of input miscommunications where I'll have pressed one button to do one certain thing, and it's actually tried to do something completely different. So I think there probably is going to be some more bugs that become apparent in the Daybreak mode now that it's kind of in the kind of hands of the wider gaming population. Okay, wave 3. Now, at this point, the reason why I tried to repair most of the walls was because I realized, okay, we're 3 waves in. The first wave is kind of like your tutorial wave, right? That's where the game kind of throws a little wave at you and is like, this is what this game mode is, this is how difficult it's going to be, get used to it, kind of thing. Wave 2 is where it gets a little bit harder, they'll throw a little bit more at you, but it's still going to be the same thing as wave 1. Now, wave 3, in my eyes, this is where they're going to want to try and introduce a new enemy type or a new difficulty, and just throw that at me. So the way I saw it was we're probably going to get a Juggernaut this wave after I set myself on fire. We're getting a lot more bloaters, you can see on the map. A lot more zombies are spawning in as well. So I tried to always prioritize specials or special and unique zombies. So bloaters first, and then the likes of the army, the military zombies as well, because of their helmets. And I'd probably do the same with the armored zombies too. Just because they're gonna, your AI companions are probably gonna try and aim for their heads and whatnot, or knock them to the ground, and it's not gonna kill them. So if you can run over there and finish them off in melee, it's just gonna save you a lot of bullets and a lot of time as well. Because the normal zombies are pretty squishy, you know, your AI companions can take care of them pretty easily, but if you focus on the specials, focus on the armored guys, it'll reduce the threat to your barricades. You can see already the barricades that I had repaired, they're already starting to take quite a bit of damage. Thankfully, whenever they are at the barricades, though, they all line up in a nice line, so if you aim your rifle, your weapon right, you can take about 4 or 5 of them in one shot, which is quite handy. There's a pro tip for you, MLG. Okay, we got another wave coming in. And another bloater. So tons of bloaters in this wave. I'm starting to take a little bit more damage. So this is wave 3. I hope you're noticing the difficulty kind of ramping up a bit. You're going to want to really use those first 2 waves as a test and as an experiment to try and kind of understand how the game mode works and kind of get down your team strategy. Because that is going to be the thing. If you're playing this in co-op, I would highly recommend, if you're playing it with randoms, get your microphone plugged in. You're going to want to talk to each other and try and coordinate this at some point. Even if it's just a couple of you have microphones, don't be afraid to appoint people to certain barricades and certain areas and say, hey, look, you know, this is your area, you cover this, because and use those 2 waves for that. As the waves go up, it's going to get more difficult, and you're going to want to have a solid strategy there in place.
Watch it, Juggernaut!
They're about to tear down that wall.
And here was the joke.
Time to reload.
So he took down the barricade. I did want to try and empty as many clips into him as possible. I kind of thought, and I just went straight to the technician. Sorry, that was horrible shots there. I went straight to the technician because I kind of thought if the Juggernaut just runs straight to the technician, I want to be there as a sort of buffer. So I've just run out of ammo for my Stormbringer. Switching to the shotgun, I noticed that the technician is taking more damage here, so I kind of prioritized that. Just emptied so many shotgun clips into that area. So as wave 3 survived, we got a blueprint downloaded. Juggernaut was down. He's getting back up again. So we got another Juggernaut coming in. Or did that Juggernaut just glitch? Because you can see we did the takedown animation on, yeah, we did the takedown animation on that Juggernaut, but he didn't die. This is what I'm saying. I think there's still a few little glitches in Daybreak that the devs aren't aware of yet. We're probably going to notice that. Bear in mind that Daybreak DLC has just been out for 1 day, so I think you will notice that there's some things that are a little bit glitchy. Just have patience with it. Bear in mind it is a completely new game mode. It's been out for 24 hours, not even 24 hours at this point. Well, it will have whenever I upload this video. But do be sure if you notice little glitches like that, let the guys over at Undead Labs know, because stuff like that is going to be incredibly frustrating for players, where they believe they've taken down a Juggernaut and then they just get back up again. But we're going to run out, pick up some Cleo drops. We need some more repair kits for the walls, and some RTX Stormbringer ammo would be really useful as well. Although I think we can use those Cleo ammo mags, right, as well?
I guess the blood plague ain't done finding ways to kill us yet. What I'm saying is, you should be ready for just about anything.
So whenever he says stuff like that, that's when I kind of assume, okay, now we've had a wave with a Juggernaut, we're probably going to get our first blood plague Juggernaut, or blood plague zombies next turn, next wave even.
Zombies are inbound on your position, and I don't think they're friendly.
I can't leave just yet. Hold off the Zeds, alright?
What do you think we've been doing so far?
So remember, please do let me know what wave you got up to in your first try at Daybreak. I would love to know. And let me know if you were playing solo or with friends. It's something I'd be pretty curious about, to see kind of what you guys are seeing as the difficulty level in this. But I think I got like relatively far for my first try.
Time to reload.
But I have seen a couple of guys from Decay Fest, if you guys have been keeping up with that. I know Mr. Dart was saying that I think on their 3rd attempt they managed to complete it. Which is it's pretty good going, but I think they were a full group, or there was at least 3 of them in that group. So I think don't expect to complete this on your first try, but I think once you get a good group together and you have a couple attempts at it, I think you will find that yeah, you start to get way higher up the ranks here. So things are starting to get a little bit trickier now. Blood plague are starting to be a pain in the ass. But the barcades are still holding off well. This is just where I start making really stupid mistakes, to be honest with you. I think this is the main reason why I didn't get much further. I should have swapped out to the RTX Stormbringer instead of using the shotgun, especially with me trying to take all these guys down at range. That, and one thing that I do miss is having my spatial melee abilities. So I think the leg sweep in this game mode would be invaluable. I think you'd be able to do a lot more damage and take care of a lot more zombies with the leg sweep. Okay, we've got another bloater coming in. He's done. And we got a Juggernaut. So at this point, I kind of decided, right, well, if I try and stay outside the walls and distract the Juggernaut, oh gosh, okay, we'll ignore that punch. We might have a better shot at it. I tried taking some shots at him from up here, but it just wasn't happening. The bullets keep on clipping against the barricade. And the issue with me going outside here is that there's so many other zombies that then are being distracted by me that I can't focus on the Juggernaut fully. Or I'll be aiming down the sights at the Juggernaut and then I get grabbed by a zombie. So the Juggernaut can punch me and then I can't reload the gun because I keep getting interrupted, and everything keeps going wrong. And then a bloater comes over and is like, hey, let me join the party, and I'm like, no, I didn't invite you. It's just all very awkward, and this is basically where it all goes to shit. Which is what will happen. I think it's the moment where you kind of get maybe a little bit complacent, you're not following your strategy, things go badly. Look how much green gas there is outside those walls. That's horrifying.
Hold the line, people.
So I decided to go in and try and just prioritize helping the technician, and then realize that that's actually a feral on the ground and not just a normal zombie, and holy crap, look how many zombies there are here. And it's just, at this point I just realized, oh yeah, we're done. It's all over. This is fine. It's all fine. But folks, that was my first attempt at Daybreak. I think I did alright. I got like 3.5 waves completed. And we have unlocked a new weapon blueprint as well. As always, thank you so much for watching. Let me know how far you guys got down in the comments below. I will be back next week with some more Lone Wolf gameplay, as well as some new State of Decay videos as well. Got some interesting, very cool videos coming up for you guys very soon, so keep an eye out for that. But folks, until next time, have a great week, and I'll speak to you all soon.